The Momodora series was something I came across on itch.io by pure chance. When I saw it, I was curious enough to click on it, and the first thing that caught my eye was the download button. It was free.
Oh god, it's free 99!
And just like that, I dove into the series. The Momodora series was created by, and forgive me if I butcher your name, Guilherme Martins, or known online as Arden. The first title was created on August 8th, 2010. The first game is about a character named Isadora, an orphan child that goes to a forbidden land to try to resurrect her dead mother. Look at this game. What does this look like to you? I'll give you a moment. Now if you said Hente Nazi, you're wrong. It's Cave Story, silly! According to the creator, he took inspiration from Cave Story and Mega Man. The game is a challenging action platformer, or as the creator describes it as, an arcade game. You can jump, and to help you take down enemies, you can use one of your different guns. A basic handgun, a machine gun, a revolver, and homing rockets. You also get some special items, such as a boomerang that goes through walls and activates switches, and a shield item. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that there's a melee attack with the leaf. While the game does have a variety of weapons, they're only useful as you get them. For example, when you upgrade from the leaf to a handgun, it's pretty reasonable. A gun is better than a leaf, no shit. However, when you get the machine gun, there isn't a real reason to go back to the handgun. That only changes when you get the revolver and homing missiles. Let me ask you something. What do all guns do?
It keeps jamming! See?
That's right, they fucking murder things. But in the context of this game, they kill what's directly in front of you. But when you look at the homing missiles, they kill everything that's on the screen and off the screen, in hard to reach places. The only downside is that they do the least damage. But no gun has that utility. So out of the other 3 guns, you're only going to be using the revolver. It makes no sense to use the other 2 here. It would have been better if you had the leaf, a standard gun that you level up, and the homing missiles, plus the special items. Also, when you die, you go back to the title screen, even though you get a checkpoint throughout the game. I get it, I lost, I'm trash. But you don't need to put me back at the title screen, it's very inconvenient. Dying and restarting at the checkpoint should have been fine. And lastly, I like to bring up the UI. The problem here is very simple. It's very hard to see on some of the maps that you go through. Making the UI a more noticeable color would have made it a lot easier to see. These would have been my criticisms had I found and played the game during the time. But I wasn't able to find this game until recently. Well, Korthos, you only talked about the negatives. What about the positives? Well, okay, I'll talk about the positives. I don't feel the game is difficult for the wrong reasons, like cheap enemy placements. For the first game, I have to commend the dude for that. And I know I don't have the background knowledge on the making of this game, but personally, I don't see that the game is so unpolished that you shouldn't play it. I think you should. It's fucking free 99.
Holy shit, it's free 99!
Of course you should. Overall, it's a good start to the series, and it can make for a fun afternoon. Next up, we have the direct sequel, Momodora II, which was released on July 10th, 2011. In Momodora II, our main character from the first game, Isadora, has been cursed and became the Underworld Queen. This has caused problems for the village of Koho, and it's up to Momo to slay the new queen. Momodora II is an action exploration platformer. Unlike the first game, the sequel will lend itself more towards exploration in its level design compared to the first. The objective is to visit and pray to each of the 4 shrines, and then fight the Underworld Queen. In this game, you have a melee attack and 1 ranged one. You'll get special upgrades to your abilities such as a double jump and a dash. Around the map, you'll find collectibles that will give you 1 more heart to your HP bar. The issues I had from the first game are completely gone here. The weapons are streamlined. As I said before, 1 melee attack and 1 ranged attack. No more useless weapons. Not to mention, the ranged weapon are seals, which I think goes a little bit better with the game, rather than, let's say, a priestess holding a gun. When you die, you do not go back to the title screen, but instead the checkpoint. And the UI is readable on all the backgrounds the game has. There are even NPCs scattered across the dungeon to bring the world to life as a bonus. But with the old problems gone, comes new ones. Or specifically, one problem that I have, such as the melee attack. I believe the melee attack is too short. I understand that maple leaves aren't that long, but come on. It really felt like I had to get ass to ass with the enemy in order to get the damage. For the short time I used the leaf in the first game, I never felt like it was too short. I don't know what made you think that it should be this short. Besides that, the dev was right. This one has way more polish to it than the first game. However, I still think you should play the first one. It's nice to see the progression of a dev. Momodora II is overall a better game than the first. And as I see it, you can only go up from here. Not to mention, this game is also free 99.
Woo! 2 for 2, baby!
And can make for a good afternoon. But if you want to add more game time, here's how. There's a good ending and a bad ending. Try getting the good end. But that's it for this game. Let's go on to the next. Next up on the chopping block we have Momodora III, which was released July 1st of 2014. The story follows Momo and Isadora, who were sent out to investigate the appearance of apparitions at the village of Koho. Just like the first game, the story here is simple. Momodora III, just like the other two, is a 2D action platformer. But, according to the wiki, it is considered a mini Metroidvania. In Momodora 3, you have the option to pick either Momo or Dora, although picking between the two is only for looks, not gameplay. There's also different difficulties, such as casual, easy, and hard. The same basic controls apply to this game. With the attacks, you can slap people with a leaf, and you have a ranged attack. And the new mechanic is being able to equip items for passive abilities. Before I talk about the new mechanic, I'm going to go on a little tangent about the base controls. Across the 3 games, I've seen 3 different control methods for the sub-weapons or ranged weapons. In the first game, the sub-weapons were put on a different button. In the second game, you had to press up and the attack button at the same time. And on the third game, you have to hold the attack button in order to use the ranged attack. I'm curious as to why he did this.
I mean, come on, there's at least like 5 other keys on the keyboard to use.
He had it right the first time, having another means of attacking on a separate button, as it makes it less awkward to use. Alright, tangent over. So being able to equip specific items like running fast and upgrading the ranged move to having a ghost partner, which is my favorite, to vary up the gameplay is wonderful. It's a good way for players to have a different style of play, even if it's just a little. I can argue that it could give a little more replay value. Hey, I played with these items, maybe I should play with these other ones in the next playthrough. I'm putting so much emphasis on this mechanic because in the past 2 games there was only jumping and shooting in the first game with some extra items, and in the second game you could only slap people with a leaf and throw paper. And as much as I love slapping people with a leaf, adding one more element couldn't hurt. Though I do wish choosing a character actually changed the gameplay a little. Not doing something like that, I believe, is a missed opportunity. The game also has NPCs that you'll come across in your playthrough, like the second game. These NPCs will appear in different locations if you exhaust their dialogue. And one of the NPCs has a quest at the end, which is a step up from having just flavor text. And I like that. The issue I had in the previous title with the melee attacks not having enough range has disappeared here. And although I went on a tangent about the controls, and I feel the characters not having different gameplay styles saddens me, this is still a great entry in the series, especially because there's even a little bit of exploration. And if you're interested in this game, it's...
Oh god, it's free 99! That's game number 3, baby!
It's actually $2.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Shut up! Now we get to the most well-known game in the series, Momodora Reverie under the Moonlight, which came out March 4th, 2016, and published by Playism. Oh, and whenever I mention this game, I'm gonna call it Momodora 4, because the title's too long. Momodora IV is actually a prequel to the other games. You play as Kaho Renol, who traveled to the kingdom of Karst to get help from the queen to help save her land from corruption. Before I get to the gameplay, I want to mention the graphics. The graphics of the previous games have more of a cute style to them, more akin to Cave Story. But now, the game has a more realistic look to both the character models and the environments. Now, prefer the two styles, I prefer this one more. Why? I got my reasons. Unlike the third installment of the game, being a mini Metroidvania, the fourth is the full-blown Metroidvania. So, what does that mean? Well, it means you get to explore a large interconnected map that is non-linear, compared to the third game, which you explored smaller areas with only a fraction of the backtracking. So just like the other games, you have the classic leaf to attack, but instead of being able to attack at a rapid rate, you have a combo. For your ranged attack, you have a bow and arrow. If you charge the bow, you get a spread shot. And just like the third game, you can equip items for passive effects. But not only that, you can equip items for active effects, such as a refillable healing item. And because this game is a Metroidvania, you get health pickups and power-ups too. In my opinion, this game is fantastic. From the art style getting an overhaul, to the gameplay change, to the large map to explore, to the characters being able to bring the world to life. I love everything. Momodora IV brings all the best qualities from the previous titles. The difficulty from the first game, in the platforming and enemy placement, the satisfaction of exploration and finding hidden items in the map from the second, along with the NPCs that bring the game to life. And last but not least, the third title, being able to equip items to alter gameplay to your style. The fourth game is a delightful mix of the strongest qualities baked into a delicious gamer cake. Would that even taste good? In my eyes, this game is near perfect. It took me a really long time to find the one thing to nitpick. Sometimes when fighting multiple enemies, I get hit because I'm stuck in animation from hitting others, and I can't defend myself. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else. And if you're interested in this game...
Is the game even free?
No, it's not free. It's $9.99.
Yeah, see? Fatal flaw. The game sucks.
Shut up! Who asked you? Jokes aside, this should go without saying, but play the Momodora series. You will love it if you're into platformers and Metroidvanias. Even if you aren't, fucking do it! Play them. The first two are free, and you have no reason not to play them. Just know, if you're gonna play them, and you want to use a controller, the first two need anti-micro, and for the last two, you need to buy them. So if that means if you have to steal your parents' wallet, do it. If you gotta mug someone on the street, do it. If you gotta sell a kidney, do it. Do what you gotta do to play this wonderful series. I know that was a long one, but thanks for sticking with me. And I know there's one more game that the guy made, and I'll get to it. But anyway, that's it from me. See you in the next one. Thanks again for watching this video. If you want to see more, please like and subscribe to this channel. Maybe comment while you're at it. Also, follow me on Twitter for updates on my videos, and when I stream on Twitch.